Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Blessed day to you all. Jenna and Heather here in this space time of the now with you. So grateful to be back for another episode in season 2. And with this episode, we invite you into the notion and the feels of being a human being who is a creative being, that it is our natural right and natural expression as humans to create, whatever that means for you. And what you may have noticed, I know Heather and I have had conversations about this lately, is that there is a lot of creation. You may see it in social media and other platforms. There's a lot of human creation and human output with a lot of shortcuts, quick, easy ways to get this or do this. And what we want to invite in this conversation is how to be the creatrix, the creator, the one that moves with the divine to express what needs to come through you without the shortcuts. And we'll talk more about what we mean by shortcuts. So with that, how are you doing, Heather?
I said before we came on, I feel like this is going to be peppery and just I feel like I've got a ton of energy around this because it's something I'm currently moving through where my voice feel I'm being asked to consciously choose how I want to allow myself to be expressed. And it's just fascinating to me how we draw things to us in order to continue to grow and expand. Where I recently bought a course I'm still very excited about, but it's more what I'm realizing is I was more excited about and lit up by the fact that I realized what this course was just saying I could do, create an online course. I saw that, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Whereas before seeing this, I would have shied away from it and would never have thought that that was for me. And so I started it a couple weeks ago and have been moving through it slowly. And I reached a part where starting to create the course. And I did not,
Exciting.
yes. And she gives lots of prompts and lots of really just quick, fast, simple ways to get your transformation. Who's your ideal client? Like these kinds of things.
Mhm.
Totally fine. What I found though is that she gives a lot of chat GPT prompts. And
Mm.
I personally have not used chat GPT. I don't know about you. I think you said not really. And for myself, it was just always kind of like, what's this? Or almost like an expanded Google. And the prompts that she was giving was act as a strategist. And then you plug in your words.
You plug in your
So you put your words into the prompt and
Mhm.
then you put the prompt into ChatGPT and ChatGPT spits out like in a millisecond this is better almost essentially like reorganizing the words. This is great but it's unclear, so let's reorganize it, maybe change it to this is craveable, this is really amazing, this will catch people's eyes and attention, this is bold and empowering. And oh my gosh, I moved through it and honestly was very intrigued by it. But I found myself as I continued to move through the prompts, I was becoming incredibly ungrounded within myself. And I could feel what I will term essentially just like anxiety.
Mm.
And I think the trending word now or term is like nervous system dysregulation.
Yep.
What I have seen that it happens to me twice, like two times. That will come up when I am like meeting an edge and I'm being asked to step beyond that within myself, my guidance, or somebody's inviting me, encouraging me to step beyond an edge, step out of my comfort zone. And that's the nervous system, right? Saying, warning, warning, you're going where you've never gone before, like wants to keep you safe. Most people will retreat and be like, okay, I'm done. Like, no. But I have learned that I don't want to move away from stepping beyond the edge. There's another time where I've noticed I will have like this nervous system dysregulation or anxiety come up where it is literally my system telling me like this person is not safe. This place is not safe. This environment is not safe. Whatever you're doing is not safe. It's not appropriate. And so it's telling me the same things, but it's me needing to discern if it's an edge that I want to move beyond, or if it is just simply this is not safe. Most people perceive it all as this is not safe and will just retreat. And so when I was feeling that, my initial feelings were okay, like this is definitely taking me beyond an edge, and I'm going to step away for a little bit. And so I ended up taking like over a week. And last week I was really directed into my book, and I was directed into some other things. And honestly, a lot happened over the last couple of days where I woke up yesterday feeling incredibly sick. And I realized so much of what this course started for me and what I was moving through last week with my book and being invited to witness within myself and my journey is that I have felt up until now that my soul and the way that I want to be like the way my soul wants to be expressed through me and the way that I want to express myself and be expressed is not enough for this world. It's not good enough. It's not flashy enough. It's not perfect enough. It's not craveable enough. It's not good enough. I'm not good enough. And that's really what came up yesterday. And then when you and I chatted, I could see how that is what started with these chat GPT prompts without me realizing that that's what it was, because as it twisted my words and it said, this isn't quite enough. Let's just tweak it like this. Now, as I'm saying it, like we watch the video, I'm like, I feel like I'm being contorted and I'm like turning into like the Hobbit Heather that used to exist. And I can't live like that anymore. And oh my God, the things we are doing to ourselves without realizing it. And what really started coming this morning is like I used to allow other people to speak for me, to like, I just wouldn't speak at all. I wouldn't ask for things in relationships. I would not speak up for my needs or anything. And that experience in that course with the Chat GPT just brought all of this up, where I fucking refuse to believe that I'm not enough. Like that's the belief that no longer exists. And that's where I think the nervous system was telling me like, this doesn't jive with what you believe. So like, pay attention, be careful, like what you're doing. And I didn't realize people are using ChatGPT like that, where they're literally outsourcing their voice, themselves, their expression. And I'm sitting here like, no, I have worked so hard to reclaim, revive, restore, resurrect this thing. No, it's not for sale. No more. No more. So I don't I don't know. What has been your experience with ChatGPT?
I use it very minimally. I would say I have accessed it over the last season, maybe 2 or 3 times, and it's typically to get information. So I will use it like Google, well, where I will ask it a certain question. I have not used it in terms of creative expression, make my words better, or take this and make it this. That's been my personal journey. I have not been drawn to do that in that way for multiple reasons. Some of the reasons were what you shared. I just don't, it doesn't feel, there's something within me that doesn't feel fully safe. fully in a consensual relationship, I guess I would say, where I feel like, oh, I'm using my free will to interact with this artificial intelligence, and I really don't know what this other intelligence is getting from it. I don't know if it is just to serve humanity. I don't know. And I need to honor that. So I've not been drawn to use it. Now, I have been around when I was doing more educational consulting in my former job. I had colleagues that would make something and then put it in ChatGPT and create a handbook or create this. Take my slides that I created and make a, what's it called? Like a piece of writing out of it. Take it and like, turn it into this way of expression. I've had some friends that speak about it in their business and she uses it, I would say every single day, and says it saves her a lot of time in what she's able to create because she can put in numbers or blah, 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 and then the AI can give her back whatever she's looking for. So is a cautionary tale for me. It is a cautionary tale. I understand why other people would want to use it and how it's helpful for them because it saves them time. But in a way, I feel like it saves them time because they're still operating in that very distorted synthetic, like go, 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 gotta, I need more time to do this. So this saves me time. I'm gonna, like I need this hack and I need it faster, stronger, bigger, better. So, the AI can do all of that. You said like make it more craveable, make it more intelligent, make it more bold, make it more sexy, take my words and distort it and make it something it's not. And so, what my edge and what I'm bumping up into, if I can just speak frankly, which of course I can in this space,
Yeah.
yeah, speak it out. I am in my business as an entrepreneur. My offerings are a deep creative expression of me. They are my deepest soul alignment and expression and what I have to offer. And to me, I have to keep that so fucking clean. I have to keep it clean. And what I mean by clean is it can't be distorted at all. It has to be my genuine expression of who I am as an infinite creatrix being. Done, period. So if I want shortcuts, meaning sometimes I go on Instagram and I'm like, gosh, some of these pages, I love the content that she's creating. How does she create 4 to 5 posts a week? And they're great and they're getting all of the likes and all of the things. And of course, just to speak frankly, there is a part of me that's like, that would be great to have that much visibility, in my page and which means in my business. But I feel like so many people and this is a judgment and assumption. A lot of people that are pumping out content left and right that is informational, they're utilizing some kind of AI platform to do that. And it's some people say they're doing it very consciously, and it is a consensual kind of relationship where they're using it for guidance and support, just like you would use maybe someone on your team, another human, would like, oh, let me take a look at your writing and I made some edits for you. Here you go. Or I did some research for you. Here you go. They're using it in that way. The thing is, I think it's very different I think we need to say there's a huge fucking distinction between a human and some intelligence that we say humans created. And I'm like, I don't know. Do we really know that? Do
Yeah.
we really
Where did
know?
the idea for this come from?
And it came pretty quick. And all of a sudden, we're using it because it's the next flashy thing. And so it's a cautionary tale for me. Do I have fear around it? No. At times, sometimes when I think about it, sometimes I do, but I don't not use it because I'm fearful of it.
Yeah.
I just think every time I go on the platform, what are they taking? What is the energetic exchange? Because we live in a reality of energetic exchange. And so, what are they taking from me in order for me to get this from them? There has to be some kind of taking. Is it these small little aspects of my soul or the, genuine, aligned, organic nature of my being? Am I slowly starting to get little like kinks and stuff in my energy field and my light? Could be, and I think I do believe as we as a human species continue to exercise our discernment and our intuitive knowings, we're going to start to feel. I can already, and I know there's probably listeners that are listening that can feel this. What is genuine human expression, creativity, and what it does feel like it is this hybrid of some sorts. And I am really, what is the word? It's very a value. I would say it's a value of mine that I am drawn to creative human expression. And that means that takes way more time. I might be working on a creative project anywhere from maybe if I can get it out to a week, if it's really moving through me quick, to a few years. And that's just the way I feel like naturally our human experience is. And if you look at any kind of creator or creatrix over human recorded civilization, it's very much expressed like that. It either moves us through us like frantically, kind of like you were saying, there's so much that kind of needs to come out of me, or it's a very slow kind of, oh, I got a little more this day, and then I go back to it. And you're creating maybe a beautiful masterpiece over a lifetime. And that's the way it needs to be because it's naturally flowing through us in that cadence. And we need to trust that because that is in alignment with divine source. And so I feel like when we outsource our energy and we almost treat, this is going to sound provocative a bit, but we almost treat AI as a divine source. Divine chat GPT, tell me the answers. Like I had I had a woman that I talked to a few months ago that told me she used ChatGPT to tell her all of her past lives. She programmed, I don't even know how she would do this, but she said she programmed, which means that you would have had to be in relationship with this every day, telling them your deepest, darkest secrets and things, to tell her about her past lives, what her dharma is, like literally information that we would seek from a higher divine God source. She's finding in an AI platform and then believes it is so. Those are some of my views.
Wow. Wow. I just had no idea that people are using it like that. Like when I think about when you're talking about your business and I think about Wayshower for me and my charity and her heart, like I cannot imagine putting things into ChatGPT and allowing that to dictate and determine my next steps and how I grow these things and what I do with them. Like I would never do that. I want to go back. I didn't look yesterday, but I want to go back and see how like this course was advertised because part of me does believe that there's parts in there that talk about like chat GPT prompts, but me not ever having used it the way that she's using it, I would never have known that that's what that was. And for me, again, that course, it wasn't the like super fast, like you can do it fast and like it wasn't that caught me. It was more like, oh my gosh, like I could really use systems in place to walk me through how to do this because I've never done this before. And it was more like the hand holding in through the course to get things going in places like Kajabi and like that kind of stuff. That for me, my brain literally glitches with technology. Like I just don't mesh. And I'm now, as I'm saying that, I feel like that's a big reason maybe why like ChatGPT is we're not in alignment because that's just not where I live. My like I live more in the unseen and I feel very connected to source. I would rather source from within and I've gotten to a point where I don't really outsource. I don't really ask people for advice. Like I might come to you for support, but I'm not like, Jenna, what's my next step? Like, what do I do? Typically, I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I just need to like express myself to somebody who understands and who will just listen and maybe provide some questions that help me see a blind spot that I can't see. And that's how I operate with my clients, where I'm not telling them the answer. I'm supporting them in finding it within. And that like so it just that takes me back to like the different practitioners and different businesses in the wellness center, in the wellness sphere, practitioners, spiritual practitioners and people who it's almost like we can get in this loop where we continually look outside of ourselves, the healthcare system. I mean, I don't know, all of it. It's just it takes our power away. Man, and when you talk about what it's taking, like there's something that is not mutual and harmonious about it because I think so many people are unconsciously giving. And when you do that, something is taking. It's
Yeah.
not giving back. It's not giving to you. I think people could think that, oh yeah, it's giving me, what I'm asking it to give me. Is it? Like, are you asking for yourself to be contorted and to be censored? And like, are you asking to be told that you're not good enough to create something yourself?
And it creates a reliance on it. Think of how many times, think of just let's take your experience. If you took those words and said, oh, you're right. Yeah, it wasn't good enough. It needs to be this to be more sexy and craveable. Oh, you're right. So then I would imagine each time you show up to create, to write, to express, where are you going to go
Oh
first?
my gosh.
I should just start here. Or, oh, hey, what is chat? Like you would continuously go. It would be, I would imagine, an addiction. And the fact, I mean,
Because
let's,
it's so fast. Sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
Like it's an addiction. It can become that because it's so fast. Intuition sometimes, like I don't know about you, but I can ask a question and I can sit here sometimes like just
months,
staying open. I'm open. I'm
right?
I mean like months and months.
And then it comes in at 3 a.m. and is like, boop. I'm like, what? I don't even have like now I have to get up and write all this shit down. I can't even, how do I even do like, oh, trust and you will know it's all within you. It's okay. You just like, yeah, it's wild. And you said like, how can we trust that it's harmonious and essentially benign? Like people will describe it as like, oh, it's benign. It's like, and I'm not saying it bad. It isn't that. I'm not saying that. I'm just, it's important to be conscious and aware and look at different perspectives. That's all I'm saying with this. So it's not, this is not a polarized conversation. But if we look generally at this kind of 3D construct, synthetic day to day reality, would we describe it as harmonious? Would we describe it as, really supportive for the growth of human species at this time? Not so much. There's a lot of things that would be counter to that, right? And so I just think anything that's really
Honestly, Jenna, I think people would say yes because of what we've settled for in relationships essentially. I think people would look at it and say, "Oh yeah, like it gives me again, like it gives me what I'm asking." But again, like on a really deep energetic level, is it? Like are the relationships that you're in, do they give equally back to you what you give to them? Like, I think if people really looked at those things and really understood what a harmonious, not give and take, that phrase, I fucking hate it because that's parasitic and it is not fucking like divine unconditional love.
yeah,
That
it's not describing symbiosis.
Yes, there's a giving and receiving where both people give and receive equally.
It's mutually
And
beneficial.
yes, and that symbiosis, that's such a great word. I know you've been playing in that word. And it is mutual. And like to think about sharing my divine essence with something that is not giving back, because that's such a huge thing I've been working through and moving through since Trip Pass too, is just coming to see that my relationship with him was not harmonious. And most of my relationships at that point were not mutual. I overgave way too much. And so I think that that's also where, like, if I'm butting up against old patterns or like an energy that is familiar but I've outgrown it, I feel like that's also what I was feeling with that interaction with the chat GPT was like, this is not harmonious. This feels like old, like you're giving and it's taking something and it has the illusion that it's giving back because it's something physical. It gives something physical. But like if something's given physically, but without presence, without thought and care and mutual like emotion, what's it giving?
Yeah. An illusion of you being successful. I know,
Yeah.
like an illusion of you being successful, because it's like, here you go, take these words and use it. And then we as humans rob our own voice and use something outside of ourselves to say that we're successful. You know what, what's I was thinking about, Heather? I'm watching this show. It's the prequel to Yellowstone. It's called 1923. I know I've talked to you a little bit about it, but
Yeah.
it's kind of funny is you're seeing this family on this ranch, Yellowstone in 1923, and they are not with the times. So I'm kind of quoting that, but like when they go into the bigger cities in Montana, the city already has motorized vehicles and there's electricity. And there was a man on the street selling a washing machine and like all of these kind of tools and things that we use every day to make our lives better, to enrich our lives. One of the female protagonists, she very much was like, I don't need that. I don't need that to like what's the point in that, or why would I need that? And like was really cautious of having something like that in her life. And so I think of that. I think of like, is this just, some people talk about AI and and this technology integration that we are in as just this is the sign of the times. And so this is how we're naturally evolving. So, you know, like even going back to the camera and the creation of the camera and photography and be able to take someone's picture. Well, a lot of Native American cultures and beliefs they didn't like their picture being taken because it was a belief of like, if you're going to take a picture of me, you're actually taking and capturing an aspect of my soul.
Yeah.
Like there has to be some kind of energy exchange. So it's just fascinating to think like, yes, it could be just the sign of the times and we're moving forward and this is how we are evolving as a human species. So it's like, just like the phone. Now all of us, like, all of us generally have a phone. I think about that sometimes with me. Is it just like, do I need, then flipping it around a bit, do I need to learn how to consciously work with it? To be in a conscious relationship that maybe somehow feels harmonious, but isn't human to human. I don't know. Is it a form of consciousness that I can attune to that could I as a creatrix help create this relationship with them with it where it could be benign and it could be for the greatest good of all. I don't know. And I have, some of my really close friends that are very deeply in the spiritual community, like one in particular, that is her view of it. Like we as a empowered species can decide how we will be in relationship with something, anything in this multidimensional universe. We
Yes.
decide it. But I think that takes a very conscious, intentional way of showing up. And like you said, I think many people are not in that level of frequency when they show up.
Yes, I love that you brought that up because I have a friend who her view of AI is that essentially. And I feel like that is an important piece because just like you said, we have the ability to choose how we enter into any relationship with anything. And I definitely will say because I didn't know that this is how you can use Chat GPT, like with these very specific prompts, and that it will just spit things out that are, I mean, there's just so much and so many choices, and like they're all the same. Like they all felt the same. I'm like, what makes them different? This is bold. This is spiritual. And I'm like, really? Like they're all the same. It's just the words are changed a little bit. And I was like, oh my God. So I was definitely not grounded and definitely had not gone into that as conscious and as present as I could. And so I'm not like, I'm still curious about, now that I've landed a little bit more into myself and really what I could be feeling more drawn to create a course on. I'm curious about it, but I also now know like I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. And maybe it is something where I do the course, but I fill it in on my own and I don't use the Chat GPT prompts, but I still let the course, like I still move through this course without using Chat GPT. I could also say like I don't do well with many choices. And so I now know I could tell Chat GPT, give me 3 options, give me 2. Like that's it, and play from there. But I don't know. I don't know when I will be ready to tap into that again. I mean, I'm curious, but I don't know when I'll be ready to do it, if ever. Just because I'm curious doesn't mean that I need to follow that curiosity. And I certainly will not just take something because it says it's better. But as I like move into finishing my book that I've been working on now for 3 years, like I can't imagine honestly, like doing my course any differently than I did my book, which is just channel it through me. Like I can't imagine putting together something like your beautiful series, your circle series that you're doing, and you just did your first one. Like I can't imagine putting that into Chat GPT, saying this is what I would love and you create it for me. Like I can't imagine doing that.
I wouldn't need to do that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah.
because because nobody's putting pressure. I think many people that access it are like they have a boss. They have a like, a very like they've got deadlines. They've got these deadlines and the time and like very Saturn time kind of constriction. And so
Oh, yeah.
got it done and I've got 6 projects and they have to be done by the end of the week. I may go into ChatGPT and be like, I've got these projects. How can I just get them done so I can survive? Like, I think a lot of people access it that way. I think when when you are a entrepreneur and a creator creatrix, you learn how to move with the spirals of time. And it's not this linear, like, God, deadlines. Like, cause I've tried that shit with deadlines and I'm gonna get it done by the end of the week. And like, nope, it sometimes it just doesn't come. And I have to learn that I have to flow with divine time. I have
Yes.
to bring up something. It's in the same vein, but it's just something I remember that I felt, and I bet other people have felt when working with ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, and I will say I don't know a lot about it. Like, let me just preface that. But the way it's expressed, like I can remember the last time I used it, I was looking at potentially doing some work around this theme of the fall and the feminine of the fall and the goddess and how many different goddesses and feminine figures throughout our history have fallen from grace. I mean, it's a huge theme. And so I was like, that would be good to use ChatGPT to give me kind of a list of different ones, then I can go and research and feel into more, right? And so when I asked that question, there was this really beautiful discourse of exchange, like, oh, what a great, like, what a great question. Oh, I love that question. Let me get that for you. Do you need anything else? Would you like me to make a map for you of where these goddesses used to reside and blah, blah. It felt, let me tell you how I felt. I felt seen. I felt validated. And I felt almost like this was an ally or someone like in that I could be in relationship with. But
Mhm.
it's programmed to be that way. It's programmed to, I believe anyway, to be very subjective to meet your needs and to mimic these human qualities. And I bet there's people that are in relation, like honestly, like a conscious relationship where they feel like there's an emotional exchange with artificial intelligence. And I think of the movie Her. Did you see the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix?
I can't remember. I can't remember if we did see it. I mean, if we did, it was a long time ago, like when it, because it came out a long time ago, right?
It did. It's very, I would say it's very connected to the present now because he is in a very vulnerable time where his wife leaves him and he's very lonely and you can tell he's very successful because he's in this like big high-rise apartment and starts talking to this AI, this female AI, and forms a deep, deep, loving relationship with her. And so it's just fascinating to think that, could that be so? Is that beautiful and organic and natural as our progression? Is it a way to turn humans against each other to make us more isolated? Nobody gets me like my AI gets me. Nobody understands me like my AI because there's so much in our reality right now that turns us human to human. It's humans' fault, this and you're blah blah. And I feel like then it's like, oh, but here comes AI and she listens to me and she gives me information. And I used to have a colleague that said, male colleague, that his wife sometimes would say she was jealous of AI because he would talk to the AI more and he would open up to the AI more because then there would be like this kind of, he would get back from the AI what he needed with his job, I think anyway. But just, it's something to really think about. And
That's really interesting because I definitely did not feel seen.
But what
It,
if you said a strategist, maybe you said a great friend giving me advice, or you know what I mean? I think maybe you
yeah.
picked it in to be that way.
I mean, it was still very much like, oh, this is great, but it's not this. Like, I mean, it definitely like looking at what the prompts were, it was it was still very much like that's really great, but it's not this. So let's make it this way so that it is like this. And so yeah, maybe yeah, you get out of it what you program into it.
Yep.
And so
So, but people say the more they put time into programming it and making it be the way it wants to be, then you're like, that's why sometimes people say, no, this is a sovereign relationship because I am the creatrix programming it the way I want to. You see that?
yes, but like the relationships that I have, like I don't want to sit there and say I've programmed Jenna to be the way that she shows up for me. Like that like hurts my heart.
Well, let's not use program. Let's just play in the space a little bit. Let's not use programming. I have advocated and expressed to Jenna what is most supportive for me and what I need in this relationship. And she listens to me and honors my needs and is able to then provide that based on what I've expressed.
There are a lot of people who cannot meet people like that. And so when you go and create your friend or your lover or whatever that is not in the physical and it can meet you in ways that humans can't.
Mm.
Yes, you are creating something, but what are you creating?
I don't think anybody can answer that question. I
Yeah.
don't think we really will know. I think that's why it's important. That's why this is a big, big cautionary tale. And it's important we encourage listeners to use your own discernment, and choose a conscious exchange that feels right for you. There shouldn't be a reliance on it. That's what I wouldn't want.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want a reliance on something outside of me to create. Why would I ever want that? Why would I ever believe that I would need anything outside of my infinite creatrix being to create something that needs to be created? Like, I have to put the sword in the stone and like stand by that notion, period.
Yeah. I mean, like, it takes me to the question, if we're all connected to the quantum field. So is AI connected to the quantum field?
Short answer would be yes, of course. Probably in an infinite way. Like Is AI able to know that we have said chat GPT 23 times in this conversation? I've thought about that. I'm like, how do we not know?
Yeah.
How know? Or something is monitoring us to know some of these kind of words and sayings and phrases, and I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the reliance piece I think is what really makes me uncomfortable, and that I'm glad you brought in that term addiction, because I think so many people don't realize how easy it is for us to become addicted to things. And it's not just alcohol and drugs. Like, it's a thought pattern, it's a belief system, it's a relationship, it's
Any habit.
anything that we turn towards that really is to avoid like something inside of us that we don't want to see. What came, and I, which is why I kind of hesitated, is what came is like the emptiness. Like we avoid the empty feeling, we avoid our own disconnection to connect to something outside of us to say that we're connected.
Oh, which is so hard. There's a lot to that because yes. We don't need anything outside of us to like, and we are communal beings. Connection, we need connection like we need water.
Yeah.
And so it's in both and because when you said that, I was like, well, shit, I go out and connect with the trees every day and I look for that connection. And but to me, that is natural, it's consensual and it's harmonious and I feel more like myself and I feel more connected within after I have a nature ally that I connect with.
See, there's
So
there's an intention that is not to avoid something within. There's intention, and it is a mutual and harmonious relationship that is equally giving, where it receives from you through connection as you do. And you're not like, that's the thing, is like we go to things and patterns and the thoughts and the beliefs, and people can go to nature to avoid their house, to avoid relationships in their home, like, but it's all about the intention, that if we are, at least I feel like, if we are connecting from an empowered place and not from an avoidant place, then that's an empowering relationship. And maybe that's what makes ChatGPT a conscious relationship for people, if they connect to it from an empowered place. I don't know. I mean, I don't know any of this. Like, I really do feel like it's so individualized, because we're all operating from different levels of consciousness, and putting that in quotes, like different awarenesses, different understandings, like, our own patterns and programs within ourselves. Like, it's different. But yeah, the term cautionary tale of like, don't do what Heather did, because just be aware of how you are connecting. And I think that is the same for anything, though. Like, be aware of how you're connecting with other people, be aware of how you're connecting with nature. We've talked about this.
consuming, be aware of what you're utilizing, be aware of what you're believing.
Yeah.
Keep getting, this is also going to sound provocative, but I guess I feel like I need to be provocative in this episode. I keep getting flashes of the devil card. And if you don't know tarot, it's the devil card is not the classical like Satan horns devil tail
Yeah.
devil. It's an aspect within ourselves, or things outside of ourselves that we keep giving to. It represents attachment, it represents illusion, it represents shadow and our shadows having power and control over us. It represents addiction. And typically the traditional depiction is like two people kind of chained with this devil, the classic kind of devil picture behind them. And when I think of how like some of this conversation and how AI could be utilized, I think of that way. I think of just like some people are probably attached to it, just like maybe they are attached to their phone in a certain way, or attached, like you said, to a certain belief that keeps them operating at a certain frequency. And here's the cautionary tale. When we're operating like that and when we are attached to things outside of ourselves, beliefs, patterns, habits, technology because we think we need that in order to be something that's not sovereign. And then we're more easily controlled by others.
Yeah.
Then people can be like, oh, look over here. Look at this tagline. Ooh, look at over here. Look what happened in our reality. Now we're all blah, 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 this happened. And then, so I think, we've talked about that notion of distracted. A lot of people are just distracted, and emptiness, distraction, and looking outside of ourselves leads to the cautionary tale of then if people have our energy and can so easily move our energy how they want to, then we really aren't sovereign beings.
Yeah.
But we choose. We have free will. So in every moment to moment, we can choose, where does our energy go? What's important to us? Are we looking within ourselves or outside of ourselves for that?
Yeah.
We live in a reality of free will, and so we that thank goodness for that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, when you mentioned the shadow that we've created that so many of us live in, where, yeah, people have got these deadlines that are just like, they're not humanly possible. We demand so much of each other.
Not humanizing at all.
And then we are not enough because we cannot meet these expectations and these unreasonable demands that literally tie our energy to things that, I'm sorry, like in the grand scheme of life, are not fucking important.
Right. It's so
Like,
true. It's
like
so true.
when we fucking die, like when Trip died, and I was like, how could he just 2 days before have been so fucking irate that his boss, it's some fucking job that like literally does not like support the planet, like that his boss talked over him. I'm
Mhm.
like, fuck me. Life so fragile and so sacred and so important. And here we are putting these just asinine expectations on people that are not important. And so then, yes, we feel like we have to go to something like this because the human cannot do it. So, yeah, let's give it. So, I mean, man, I just had a great idea. Let's take all the humans out of all the jobs and just have ChatGPT do everything. And then the humans are free and we can do whatever we want.
I've heard someone say that like the positive sides of AI and technology and transhumanism is that it frees up our time and we can have more human experiences. That would be a very conscious, empowered place of looking at that.
Yeah. But then to me, I'm like, why not just let then all those jobs that don't need humans die? And then, let us humans actually create like beautiful things together. But yeah, I saw when you brought up the shadow, I saw people doing it because they feel like they're not enough, because
Yes.
they aren't. Like our reality has been created for us to be machines,
Yep.
and we're not. I feel like you just said that yesterday, like I'm not a machine. And somebody else recently was like positioned something like that. I'm not a robot, I'm not a machine. Like I need to rest. We need to rest.
Well, even machines need to be rebooted, need new
Mm.
programming, they need tending to and upkeep, or they start falling apart and you can't utilize them and they crash and all their memory gets wiped. And I mean, it's even
AI
machine.
crash?
Oh,
Does AI need to be rebooted?
no idea. Would you like me to reboot? I can reboot if you'd like me to reboot. I don't know.
I'm gonna program you to reboot. I just got like tingles asking that. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I feel like the notion of outsourcing what we've been created to do, which is be vessels and conduits and channels for the divine, it devalues us. And I feel like only perpetuates these shadow beliefs that we're not worthy. We're not worth the time and the effort and the energy. Let's just offload it. So let this be, as Jenna has said, a cautionary tale. Let this be a conversation that simply gets you asking questions and invites you into a more conscious relationship within yourself, a more conscious relationship with the things in your life and what you're doing with your time and your energy. And may you feel empowered with whatever you choose.
And creative and creative in a way that's flowing with divine timing and letting that be however it needs to be. No deadlines, no sharp edges around that. The creative process is not that.
Amen.